Peace, everybody. I know y'all not used to seeing this ugly freaking mug on this camera, but I'm back. It's your boy, the mayor, that DJ named Ace 5, your mom's favorite fat guy, all the way from deepest, darkest Africa. And I got to lead this off because the homie Ian is running a little behind right now, but we're here with the newest episode of HHDG Media, the podcast. As y'all see on the scroll on the bottom, please make sure y'all visit hhdgmedia.com for all information on HHDG, the group. Uh, it's going to be hard to get into the Facebook group, but this brother right here has been a member for some years. Yeah, everything and anything you want to know about HHDG. We got a lot of dope interviews, a lot of dope blogs from a lot of independent underground artists. And for all of y'all that try to say a certain level of rap music or hip hop is dead, go check out our website and we'll let y'all know because this culture will never die. And it's always culture first before the music. It's always culture first before the music. And the brother that we got today is definitely a culture first person. You see the thing in the background, the logo in the background, adism. That should tell y'all exactly where he's from. Introduce yourself, because I don't like to introduce people. I like people to introduce themselves.
It's Hakim Green, channel live and direct. BDP all day, every day. And yes, all we do is spark mad ism.
I wish. I wish if we wasn't on randoms on my job, I'd have been right there with you because the funniest shit, if I could even find it, this kid was walking around my neighborhood claiming he was homeless. He had his friend and he had a big ass hole in his shirt. So I ended up I was generous. I gave him a t-shirt. Fortunately, my daughter picked up one of these. But look what the kid traded me for said t-shirt, Hawk. But I can't touch it yet, man. I'm waiting for some things to happen to be able to touch it, man. But we're here for you. How's everything doing, man? What's going on with yourself? Let the people know how you're feeling.
Yeah, everything's
You let
good.
them know who you are, and
Yeah, I'm feeling great. My head was down right there because I was promoting, letting everybody know to go to the hip hop discussion group page so they could check in. So you know I got to do my promo. You know what I mean? Let them know.
definitely. And hit up actually hit up HHDG Media on YouTube. Also, if you are
Mm-hmm.
not a member of the Hip Hop Discussion Group page, you can actually look up HHDG The Lens, which is our fan page for we have been major pushers. And shout outs to the homie T Smith also for hooking this up. Long
Big
time
shout
homie
out
for
to
both
T
of us.
Smith.
Word
Oh
up,
my gosh,
peace.
my guy right there.
All day, every day, for real, man. Like,
Yeah,
you want
man.
to know how much that how me and his relationship started, right? Me and my boy back in the day when we first started our podcast in 2014, it wasn't the Starting Five then. We tried to do a live show. My
Mm-hmm.
boy ended up getting a hookup at Buffalo Wild Wings to do the live show.
Mm-hmm.
Little iffy situation for me, but we was promoting the hell out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe two or three people came out. T was one of them. And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'm not even a sports fan, but I just came to show love. And
Mm-hmm.
it's been all love till
Yeah.
this day, man.
That's how he rock, bro. I met him
For
working
real.
with KRS One some time ago. That's how I met T. And actually, that's not that. I met him at I want to say Rap City over at BET first, and then I really got to connect with him when he did a video for KRS One. Chris had a freestyle, and he shot a joint for Chris, and reconnected again through my homie Phil Pabone, rest in peace. And you know, every time I reach out to T, we chop it up, talk about current events, especially what's going on in hip hop, in the world of hip hop. And love the brother, he's culture first, like you said earlier. You know, culture first. So big shout to him.
Yeah, word up. And he knows my fight with it is as soon as people start talking rap music
No,
and but say, yo, hip hop music,
no,
yo,
you stop
I
it.
yeah. You already like you
Yeah. You talking rap music? You talking about hip hop? See, my thing is like, you know, hip hop when it was born was something different than what was going on at the time, right? From a cultural perspective and a music perspective, something different going on at the time, right? So block jams, park jams, club party, all that have always gone on. Like that wasn't new in 1973 or the early 70s or the late 60s, right? What was new about the culture was that there was this thing that focused on dancing to the breakbeat,
Facts.
dancing to the breakbeat, right? And now you talk to Grand Mixer DXT, he talks about cats in the late 60s that were called B-boys because they dance to the breakbeat, right? And then they would go to the parties, and then, you know, parties is parties. You 16, 17, 18 years old. You know where your mind is at. You trying to get with the lady over there. You trying to, whatever song, whatever groove is going on, where you can come and bump and grind and get the roll. That's what you trying to do, right? And it's understandable. But here come these 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds that come and make a circle, and they bogart their way and they elbow their way. You're like, man, look at these jokers. They always come messing up the party with this boing shit, with this
Right.
hippity
That
hop shit.
that boing. That's that name that a lot of people who claim they love this shit don't know about. That's kind
Mm-hmm.
of where it started with that
Yeah,
name there.
with the boing. So it was like there was this thing that was anti what everybody was used to, right? And then that thing, those kids, like they would connect and share ideas and share just, you know, just share lifestyle experiences, share fashion, share graffiti, share hot records with the ill break beat in it, right? And that's how hip hop culture kind of grew from that. And then there's a rhythm, a cadence, like it's a head nod. There's a thing that we do with hip hop now, different than R&B, different than soul, different than all disco, different than all these doo-wop, different than there's all these other things going that have a different bop, a different cadence, a different sway, a different rhythm. Hip hop brought a different rhythm, a different way to attack, a different way to like the vibration of it. You know, it's like when you see some people nod like this, some people rock back, some people do it's different. Some people do this. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
the
And then
hip hop. When I say hip hop, huh,
and
huh,
then you
huh,
got the b-boy stance. Like
I'm
there's
talking about this. This is what I'm talking
mm-hmm,
about. I'm talking about there. My neck
mm-hmm.
got to do this, and that's how. That's the hip hop that I'll most likely cling to. That for me is kind of how the culture grew out. That cultural
Right, right.
influence out of that. So, you know, my first connection was hip hop. We wasn't calling it hip hop. It's just the shit that we was doing in 78, 79, 80, 81.
Right,
And then
right.
then the phrase hip hop caught on, and you know, we was doing hip hop, but it was still like it wasn't this thing at the record labels, it wasn't this thing at the radio stations, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't that thing. When we finally did get around to carving out our thing, it was Fridays and Saturday nights. You know, you could check, you know, pirate radio or college radio during the week, on the weekends, late night, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning when you coming home from the party, coming home from the club, you listen to, you know, college radio and pirate radio. Mainstream radio wasn't dealing with hip hop at
Yep.
all.
At
Wasn't
all. Yep.
dealing with it at all. So, you know, when you get around to like the Run DMCs, you know, the LLs, the Houdinis, you know, even before, you know, you start to see the commercial impact in its potential. You know what I mean? So, you know, hip
Just the
hop is a
breakthrough, just the breakthrough with that you had to kind of go through in the levels of gatekeeping per se with Mr. Magic back in the day. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? And
hmm
then Red Alert became kind of that conduit also in said early days. And I mean, there's just so many levels to the culture and the beginnings and where it started is debatable, things of
hmm
that nature. But since we're talking from the root, and before we get to you and your foundations and what led you to rap besides the cultural
hmm
impact of it all in general,
hmm
the line from Sugar Hill Gang, my man out there always likes to quote from the black to the brown. What is it? From the black to the brown, there was something in the white, the purple, and yellow.
You're low.
Ta- Talking about everybody's faces that
hmm
made up the jams, that made up
hmm
the parties and things like
hmm
that.
hmm
It's our culture. It's our people's culture per se. But
Mm-hmm.
this culture, a lot of people nowadays feel like we just allow people to assimilate into,
Mm-hmm.
we're just giving it away. But this culture, from my point of view, kind of was always accepting of those because we were the counterculture. We were said rebel culture. And
Mm-hmm.
just the like for instance to why I think it's okay to accept others that aren't doing or faking the funk in said culture. If you
Mm-hmm.
know, you feel what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the world of graffiti, which we claim as one of our core four elements, but you bring it back to a Lady Pink or a scene, which graffiti technically was the first because that was going on before hip hop and the boy yoing was a thing. And they'll tell you, even Grandmaster Flash says it, graffiti isn't hip hop because they were listening to rock, they were doing this, they were doing that, but yet counterculture, multiple cultural backgrounds was doing graffiti and then assimilated into hip hop back then.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you feel kind of about all of that?
So Grandmaster Caz, the grandest of them all, says hip hop didn't create anything; it recreated everything. Right.
Mm,
So, so when we look at graffiti, which that's a great point because graffiti, just writing your name on a wall or putting your name up somewhere that you ain't supposed to, right, is what graffiti is. Right? Anything it's a graphic that's unsanctioned, right? Then it became a style. Now it's a style we call graffiti, but graffiti is really something that's unsanctioned, that's graffiti, right? And how hip hop embraced it, where it became, getting your name up, getting your name seen, being on the right line, so you can go through well, not five boroughs because it wasn't going to Staten Island, but you was all borough, and I don't, I'm from
nah,
Jersey, so I
nah, it
don't
wasn't coming out here.
know what come
Yeah,
out there,
it
right?
was
But
yeah, going
yeah,
all city though. I know what you
yeah,
mean.
all city. You know what I mean? So it's like that was a form of getting your name up, getting seen, marketing and promotion, like unsanctioned graph on trade, like that. That whole thing was just such an inspiration to other elements in terms of breakdancing, rhyming. Like, you got people who make careers out of dissing jokers, unsanctioned like, I'm gonna attack you. I'm gonna come at you and bomb you. I'm gonna come out, and that's a whole way of approach that's not violent. It's not, it's still in the ethic of hip hop because you're using your art form to go at somebody, right? But when you look at graffiti and the impact that influence, being all city, going over people, you know what I mean? Burning something down, just that whole energy, whether it influenced hip hop or hip hop influenced it, debatable, but it is definitely a part of the culture that needs to be respected
Yeah,
at this
yeah,
point.
definitely. No,
At this point.
definitely. I think so. As things grow, we all ignored our parents at some point in time. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So the old heads had their moment. We're heads in this culture, even though we are the age range that has almost literally grown up with this culture throughout its almost 50 years. Like I'm only 42, turned 43 at the end of the year. Hip hop is as a culture is what 46, 47 years old. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
my
So
math is
think
crazy.
yeah, so
My
so
math is
it,
crazy.
yeah, I feel you, but we're all evolving with this. So change is going to happen, change is going to be had. And yeah, I mean, there's certain parts even now that people don't want to accept, but we're not going to get into all the new stuff right this
Mm-mm.
second. We want to start now with where did your beginnings start with? We talked about how you was influenced by the park jams early and all the the pirate radios, late night radios when we wasn't heard
Mhm.
until 11:30, 12:30, 1 o'clock at night.
Mhm.
What was the guiding force for you to go down the lane of rap?
Wow. Okay. So growing up in the culture, I wrote my first rhymes 1979, 1980, something like that. And it was a crew called the Stardust Three in Raleigh Park. Now, Raleigh Park in the 70s was nicknamed Bush City because it was the weed spot in East Orange, one of the weed spots in East Orange, the park that I grew up in. I'm talking about I was 7, 8, 9 years old, growing up in this park. The first MC I ever heard spit was a guy by the name of Mike C. And he's a legend on the internet right now. He's a Jersey legend. Redman talks about him a lot. Tretch talks about him a lot. Like I was 9 years old, heard him. I was in the sandbox and heard him rhyming and was just captivated, caught up. And you following these crews, guys are 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. I'm trying to be like them. Wrote my little rhymes, whatever. But then dancing kind of took over. Like I'm from Jersey. House music is real strong. House parties is real strong. You know what I mean? So, being a dancer was something that was just, getting in the cipher and doing my 1-2, my Scoop and Scrap, my Running Man, all the ladies. I was that dude. Started dancing for Naughty by Nature when they were the new style.
Oh,
This is
fire.
I saw Naughty by Nature form at my high school. I went to me and KG graduated the same year. He put me on the Boogie Down Productions. I walk in the homeroom class. He's holding the Criminal Minded album. I'm like, man, these niggas got guns on the album. They ain't trying to sell no records. He laughed at me. Now, mind you, KG got the high Kid and Play joint with the blonde, with the red dye at the top. He got the gold jewelry on, the Mercedes Benz medallion. He got the 4-finger ring. Like KG is so the epitome of hip hop culture, dude. It's crazy.
And to see where that man is now and stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Well, let me break it down for you. So the crew was the new style. KG, Tretch was the MC. MC Tiny Treachery, that was his name. And Tretch had a little fro. He wore a blazer to school every day, briefcase every day. Vinny Brown was a straight A student, bro. One of the smartest people I know. The dude is incredibly brilliant. He was the host of my senior year talent show as a junior, right? So he's about to bring on the new style, and the sound system goes out. Vinny starts beatboxing because he's hip hop to the core. Tretch jumps in, spits this ill run. I'm talking about rips the auditorium to shreds, dude.
Now, like, quick aside on that there, because you saying he rips the auditorium to shreds. I didn't want to cut the story off because this is fucking hella captivating. But did he have that flow then that he has?
Oh, well, that flow,
keep going.
That flow, when you talk about King Mike C from Jersey, I'm not going to say Mike C is the originator, but he influenced a lot of people. And if you check Tretch on a Madison TV interview I did with him last year, he gives Mike C all the credit in the world. Redman gives Mike C all the credit in the world for being an inspirational force. Like, he's DMX before DMX. He's Tretch before Tretch. He's Pac before Pac. He's all like dark skin, bald head, got the gruff. And he sings songy with his joint, freestyles off the head for days.
You gave me homework, bro. You gave me homework because when I asked the flow question, it made me think of Eminem and how Eminem specifically cites Tretch as an influence because Tretch's flow, as his name was treacherous. Like that flow literally felt unmatched, even still to this day, to some point.
Yeah, we got to give Tretch all his flowers that he deserves, because when I say from like 1991 to like 1995, everybody rhymed like Tretch.
Or
like everybody tried to. Like, and the brother's just such a legend and a force in our craft that I don't think he gets the flowers he deserves, and he's one of Jersey's greats, and it's my brother. And I seen, like, it was called the New Style, and I was doing shows with them. They had a song called Scuffing Those Knees, and I would do this move. I would drop down to the floor and slide all the way across the floor, moving my legs real fast.
No knee pads.
No knee pads. Go through Tretch's legs while he's rhyming. End up on the other side. One of the other dancers was. He lift me up. We do the splits over the top of the head. Land in the split. I was ill with mine. I was ill.
That's fire. That's fire. But we're up to the what's the name? The talent show.
Okay, no, we passed the
Expectations
talent
music.
show.
Okay, okay.
We passed the talent show. I go off the no. Yeah, I go off to college. I come back, I dance for Naughty. I'm dancing for various artists. One artist named Princessa. This she's from Queens. She had a big record with a group called the Bingo Boys. Show me how to dance. So I'm all around the country. I end up in Dallas, Texas. We got a show at Texas Stadium. I'm sitting in the limousine, and I hear OPP come on.
Mm.
And it blew my mind because this is 91, 92. To hear a rap record on the radio at all was like to hear a rap record in Dallas, Texas, in daytime radio, for that rap record to be your homeboys.
I was gonna say,
Like,
and people like you could reach out and touch them. It's like, nigga, we made it.
that's when I started writing rhymes again. That day is when I started freestyling. Because Princessa was like, I'm telling you, if they doing it hot, you can do it too. You need to word. So she said, all right, let's start freestyling. So we started going off the head. And I pulled Tough. Tuffy was the other dancer, the other half of Channel Live. At first, it was funny to him. He laughed. Oh, now you rhyming now. Oh, first you dancing and now. Because, it's like somebody it's like, nah, we going to go around the world dancing as background dancers. No, I don't believe it. Come on, I'm telling you, I've been doing this last year. It's right there. Just come. I'm telling you, I get, I'm 19 years old. I'm getting paid $250 a show, cash, over the under the table, three shows a week. That'll
Early
keep
2000s was good money. That was
no,
good money. Early,
this is 19.
early
This
90s.
is
My bad.
This is 1988, 1989, 1990.
Oh, so you felt rich in 88, 89.
Yeah, I mean, you
250 a show. Yeah.
250 a show, background dancers, 3 shows a week, everything paid for. You're seeing the country, you're seeing the world. I went to England. I went to every major city in the country. This is before Channel I, before I was rapping, as a background dancer. Right. And big shout out to Nicole Folks, who first person and then Naughty, of course, when they were the new style, and then Princessa. That's how I got my chops up on the business side. And then you start recording your demo. Big shout out to Charles Farrar, Troy Taylor from Character Production. I started working with them, doing a little demo. And then at the same time, I was teaching from 1990 to 94. I started an after school program with my boys Hassan Sharif and Roddy Jackson called Act Now, African Children of Tomorrow Now. And that came about because, going to college, coming from East Orange, New Jersey, it was all black school system, right? I had some early roots of Black history and grounded in my culture. I came up in the nation from like 3 years old, like 5 years old, I was in the nation. You know what I mean? So I had an early grounding that got sparked by the likes of like John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, Ivan Van Sertima, Leonard Jeffries. I'm in college, but I'm studying, my major is, street history, African-American history from the street, and Club 101. Those are my major and my minor, right? That's what I was doing.
Right.
But going back home and seeing, where my people was going, where my people was headed, the types of things my people were going through, my family members, my best friends, people I grew up from out the sandbox, crack hitting 80, 485, so I saw mad people get taken out by crack. And then me having a certain understanding because of where my mind was at, I was like, I got to do something. So, I got to teaching, taught at the Hart Middle School Complex in East Orange, New Jersey, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, social study and science teacher. I was still going to school at night. I was, into the culture, so to speak. And this is when KRS was doing human education against lies. So he was making his rounds to the various colleges. As a part of the program with Act Now, we would take these students up to go see these various lecturers, the Dr. Benz, the Leonard Jeffries, the Ivan Van Sertima's, going to Rutgers University, Montclair State, William Patterson, Ramapo. Started, basically chasing KRS. He had the song You Must Learn out. Our first Act Now class starts with You Must Learn. KRS, Chuck D, Public Enemy, X-Clan, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Native Tongue. Like that was the cultural Rakim, Big That King, Asiatic, Nobody's Equal.
Yep.
The God Rakim, Allah. Like what was on the brain from 1988 to like, really up until now, really was knowledge of self, community, education,
Black
like
empowerment.
black
Yep. Yep.
empowerment.
Yep. The
That's what
Africa
I mean,
medallions. People started wearing dashikis.
autobiography of Malcolm X. I read that in
Mm-hmm.
1988, and it brought me back to where I needed to be. That was the spark. And then from there, I was, any book that I can get my hand on, from like I said, all the greats, I'm talking about Walter Rodney, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. I'm talking about, Sheikh Anta Diop, I'm talking about, like just all the greats, right? And all the Illuminati stuff.
Facts,
Behold the
because
Pale
we were in
Horse.
that. We were in that as a people. Yep.
Behold the Pale Horse. Rule by Secrecy. All the David Icke books. I'm talking about early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Deep in it, right? Act Now. We're taking these kids around. We go catch up with KRS-One at first, Ramapo. Of course, I got something to say. We catch him then at William Patterson. Of course, I got something to say. He get to Montclair State. Now, everybody on campus know I'm the biggest KRS-One stan. So all day, all I hear is, KRS going to be on campus. Yo, I know you're going to the lecture. Yo, Hawk, you going to the lecture? Your boy's coming up. Your boy's coming up. Clowning me, really, because I'm the biggest KRS-One stan.
Right. But little did they know.
So the lecture, starts filling up. Talking about 300-400 people. Packed. I go in the back because I don't really want to play myself like I'm the stand that everybody knows that I am. So I go in the back. Chris walks in, spots me off rip. Hakim, I've been looking for you. You see the mummer. Yo, he knows Hakim. He knows Hakim. Yo. People walking up to me. Yo, I know.
And the way you said that, like, because I clearly I don't know KRS-One yet. Forever in life, he's been my all-time number one. But I heard his voice. I heard his voice saying it exactly how you said it.
So he goes, I said, after the lecture, I want you to come backstage. I got something to add. I want you to do something. So the whole lecture, people walking up to me. I know you're going backstage. Are you going backstage? I know you're going to see your boy. I go back there. He goes, hey, I got this lecture tour, Human Education Against Lies, and you're a school teacher. So I thought it would be dope if you could open up the lectures as somebody coming from, behind the lines. You're in the, So it was he and Dr. Leonard Jeffries. I did a couple lectures with them in New York, right? Oh, and he goes, "What you guys doing tonight?" And I had Tuffy with me. He goes, "What y'all guys doing?" So I'm supposed to go to this to the Red Zone. There's some new promoter throwing a party. It's him and Funkmaster Flex, and I'm supposed to perform. Y'all want to go? Like, yeah, of course. So we meet him over at the Red Zone. Guess who the promoter was?
Puffy. Oh shit. Yeah, because I was trying to think of that era and thinking of Puff. Yeah, that's how he got his start in all of this. Yeah,
I think that was the very first party he did downtown. It was at the Red Zone with Funkmaster Flex, KRS-One and me and Tuffy were off backstage watching it all go down. It's just ill how
crazy.
life, we had no idea we would later be a part of a group with, not with Chris, but managed by Chris. But that was the start of our relationship. He didn't even know we did music at the time.
That's crazy.
So we were working on a demo with this other production company who would then drop us. It was a big joke how they did it. But then I got with Chris, got him the demo. He hit me up. He calls me on the wall phone, on the wall with the cord hanging down. The phone rings. Hello, may I speak to Hakim Green? Speaking. This is KRS-One. I'm sitting here at D&D working on some music. I thought you and your partner Tuffy might want to come through it. So Tuffy was in Willingboro. That's like a
South
good
Jersey.
South Jersey. How many stars? He's in Willingboro.
My one of my co-hosts, he hasn't been on the show in a minute, but one of my co-hosts, shout outs to JP, is from Willingboro. A lot of actually, fun fact, a lot of our group HHDG is from Willingboro. It
Mm,
was started by a man who was living in Willingboro, so I'm familiar. And as my father taught me, a lot of Staten Islanders, black Staten Island, a lot of black folks from Staten Island moved down to Willingboro
yeah,
over the years because
yeah,
prices are great down there.
yeah. Big shout out to Twin Hills. So, Tuffy's like a good, 45, 55-minute drive from Willingboro to East Orange. East Orange can be as quick as 20 minutes to the city, as long as 45, depending on traffic, hours, depending on traffic.
Trust me, I know.
Right. We was
Trust me,
there.
I know.
He picked me up and we was there in about a half hour. Pew! So we started working on our demo. Was taking meetings, indie labels, Fat Wax, Nervous, Select, and wasn't really getting the numbers we was trying to hear. A friend of ours, Amelia Moore, big shout out to Amelia, was working with Kevin Woodley over at Atlantic Records. She was interested in the project. We took it to her. Sylvia Roan ended up passing on it. Amelia, being the friend she is, had a friend in Cali working at Capitol. Big shout out to Malik Levy.
Okay.
Sent the demo to Malik. Malik calls me like, yo, this, you guys really affiliated with KRS. How's he involved? Once I explained the relationship, he flew out to meet me and Tuffy. And then about 3 months later, we had a deal on the table. And that was the beginning of our Capitol Records experience.
Dope, dope, dope.
Yeah.
So and see, there's a lesson to be told in that for anybody listening, in that persistence does work, but persistence done properly. You had the fortunate ability of proximity by way of what you did
Mm-hmm.
and the tours, but also you using your mind. Yo, I do the same shit he's doing. Yo, I gotta be there. I gotta be there. And your persistence in that, not stalker like y'all crazy motherfuckers out there nowadays, but nah, you know what I'm saying? But in a respectful, non-stalker like way, he remembered you and remembered
Mm-hmm.
you. And
Mm-hmm.
that persistence is something that people should really look into, look out,
Yeah.
and look into it in as far as you're trying to get on, you're trying to do something now. Yes, the social media way that and world that we live in now, it's totally different.
Mm-hmm.
All you gotta do is have some cleavage and you're gonna get 100,000 followers tomorrow.
Right, right.
But but if you want to get towards where you want to go, it don't
Mm-hmm.
hurt to align yourself along the path of what you're already doing.
Yeah,
And so it
yeah,
was dope.
yeah, yeah,
Shout
and the fact that I brought value outside of being an MC.
that is key.
Yeah, was something else because Chris was checking for me as a school teacher. Him being the teacher, and then me being an actual school teacher. Once he found out I had rhymes, it was like big shout out to French who produced the Nami EP. Salute, salute, salute.
Peace,
So
French.
bringing that extra, that real value, or as an organizer, as an activist, and you'll see as this interview goes how like that's been a major assist in my career, are the other things that I bring to the table that then open up the door for me to really put my art on Front Street.
Yeah, man. And there's something that told us about maybe like a year or two ago that I'm gonna get into later that you had going on, I believe, in Newark.
24 hours a piece. Big shout
There
out
you
to
go.
24 hours a piece.
Yeah,
Roz Baraka, Team
we'll talk
Baraka
about
all
that
day.
in a little. We'll talk about that in a little while because I
Okay.
did express to T, or however we can get involved, let us know.
Oh
But
yeah, for sure.
you're now up to your label deal,
Mm-hmm.
your first project.
Station identification.
How did that come along? And of course, the single everybody knows you for, Madism. I first tell me how the project came along, but then I want to know about the session for Madism. I mean, there's obvious
That's a
tones
great.
of
That's a
that
great story.
was
Mm-hmm.
there, but
Mm-hmm.
let me lead how the
All right.
project went into
Mm-hmm.
and Madism.
Mm-hmm. Hold on 1 second.
You're all good.
I don't have that thing, babe. Okay.
It's real life issues going on right there.
Oh
No
yeah.
issues, but you
Yeah,
know
man.
that's what family men do. Oh, there you go. I ain't mad
Gotta,
at that.
gotta roll. All we do is spark madism, man. I mean,
Factor. Hey,
so our demo that we did for Capital, right? We had a joint called Positive Over Negative, which was really, if you ever heard the song "Down Goes the Devil," Booyaka, booyaka. Down goes the devil. Down goes the
Okay.
down
Okay.
goes the, oh shit. We was on one. So we that was a remake of a song we had called Positive Over Negative. Um and you can actually find that on YouTube. Channel Live Positive Over Negative.
All right.
Right.
Now I gotta look for it.
Yeah. And then also on the demo was a song called Cause and Effect, which made the album. I forget the third, and then the fourth one was called The Blunt is on Fire. The blunt, the blunt, the blunt is on fire. Quickly pass the lighter, let the Philly blunt burn. Yo, French, I need a beat for that right there. That's the next one, bro. So just so you, that's the next one we did. So
Nice.
so um Chris was like, when we was doing the album, he was like, all right, so first of all, Chris goes on tour. So we start the album with Salam Remy and Reggie Burrell. We do 5 joints. We do Sex for the Sport Event Station Identification. We do Lock It Up. We do Alpha and Omega. We do Homicide Ride. Now, we were extremely influenced by Souls of Mischief,
Mm,
Das Effects, of course,
mm.
Black Moon, Tribe Called Quest.
Mm. You're speaking
Uh,
to my lane. You're speaking to my lane.
like who else was just of course Redman, EPMD, like Redman was just was just Naughty, of course, Tretch. The Chronic album was like, all right, so let me just jump off on a tangent right fast.
Go right ahead.
So as a school teacher at this point in my life, I had we had the organization Act Now, right? And I wouldn't say the word nigga or bitch.
I
If
feel
you
you.
said nigga or bitch around me, we were in a debate, discussion, argument. Like you couldn't say it around me. It was a good 10-year run. Good 10-year run.
Yeah.
Things changed for various reasons. So I heard I looked at the NWA, just that movement, and I looked at the direction that hip hop was going. I'm coming out of the Public Enemies, the X Clans, the Boogie Down Productions, Knowledge Reign Supremes, the King Asiatic, Nobody Equals, the Rakims, the cultural, you know what I mean? Just the peace.
We got
Just
the
the
homie Wiki Ian in the building.
just the cultural imperative that was this other thing that was happening. We didn't understand it. It was like, what's this destructive? Now, mind you, I'm deep into the knowledge, the
Yeah.
wisdom, the understanding.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw the movie Menace to Society, I'm Sharif, right? I'm growing up with Naughty. You see what that's about. We all grew up together, played football with these guys, up the hill, down the hill. All the drug dealers was cats that I was in the sandbox with, playing football with, writing rhymes with. Like now it's 85, 86, 87. They off on a whole nother vibe. I come back, 88, 89, 90. We got this art form that's addressing all of these ills, all of these problems. And we selling records.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to be that. All right. So we start doing this album. Chris is like, yo, y'all too educated. Y'all gonna go over people's head. Y'all need to dumb it down.
Oh,
Y'all need to be out here talking to these niggas and these bitches.
so KRS-One, the great Krishna partner Parker, told y'all to dumb it down. This is the man that we all look at as king of conscious, quote unquote, big air quotes, conscious rap.
He's any rap. He's the greatest of all time. Don't nobody want it today. Don't nobody want it.
Actual facts. I'm with that. Actual factuals. I told you, my number one all time.
Right.
But that man told y'all to dumb it down.
Right. Because
okay.
So if you remember, what was the name of his first album?
Criminal Minded.
Criminal Minded.
Yeah.
Criminal
I I have it in the house. I got
Yeah.
a nice reissue
Right.
cassette tape with the
Yeah.
puzzle of the
Mhm.
post of the album cover. So yeah, it's in the house
And,
right
and,
there.
and KRS-One's mentor was a man by the name of Scott LaRock, DJ Scott LaRock, who was a college graduate and a social worker.
Mm. Kind of the same lane like you, just
Well, so Scott, Chris was knowledge reigned supreme over nearly everyone. Chris was, because of his upbringing, even though he was homeless and he was in the shelters and he was wild. He stayed in the libraries. He stayed learning. He stayed about knowledge. He stayed about revolution. He stayed about, like, that was always a part of who he was. So his art, his music kind of reflected that too. And Scott explained it. We got to dumb it down so you could reach the people.
got it, which is smart. I mean, it sounds funny
Right.
the way it sounds funny coming from the teacher,
Right.
but it in the business
Right.
it makes sense.
Now, Scott gets murdered. KRS then dedicates his life to social justice, non-violence, education. He dedicates his career, his music. His next few albums are that, right? He signed to Jive Records. He left the messed up situation he was with, ended up getting a deal with Jive. Now, in 90, 89, 90, 91, you got Too Short, you got E40, right? And what people have to understand is that, New York is a bubble. Like, New York extends really to like a little bit in New Jersey, or maybe down to Philly, kind of, sort of, Connecticut, but outside of that right there, you get outside of New York, I'm not going to say everybody's the same. Everybody's more relatable. Everybody across the country
Right.
has a culture, a sway, a vibe, a lingo, a attitude, the way they see things is different than New York City, period, point blank, especially coming out of the 80s.
Perfect representation of that was DJ Quick's It's Just Like record when he talked about Kansas City is
City,
just like
just like
Compton.
Compton. Yep.
Memphis is just like
St.
Compton. This
St.
place
Louis,
just like
just like
Compton. Yep.
Compton.
Yep.
Right. New York, it just was its own thing. The bop, the rhythm, the sound, the grittiness, the subways, the buildings, the concrete, the way we listen to music, and it's not in your, it's right in your ear. It's not in a car going down the highway, chilling back on the lean. Like, the whole cultural imperative is just different in New York. So when you at a major label competing against national artists and your sound's not national, you probably not going to compete well.
Yeah, which how crazy is that that exact words, right? Those exact words right there actually is what translates today.
Yeah. So now this is before the 1996 Telecommunications Act, which deregulated broadcast radio. There were still rules and regulations. Like, you couldn't say certain things at certain. You couldn't play the same artist in a certain time period. Like, even if you couldn't play different records by the same artist. So when
Shit.
you see people getting all these spins in
Mm-hmm.
89, 90, 91, 92, you couldn't get those spins because it was illegal. You
Mm,
couldn't just,
mm,
even if you were like, you couldn't play like, a Redman single and then a Redman collaboration with EPMD and then a
mm-hmm.
Redman collaboration with Busta and
Cypress Hill and
then a Red and
Red
Meth
and Meth.
joint.
Yep.
Like, that was you could only do that on the weekends, and you could get away with it. 5 o'clock free ride,
Mix shows. Yep.
mix
Yep.
shows where mix show DJs still had kind of control over what they played, and then that would change,
And to
right?
also think, that this was also in the era where maybe some of y'all might have forgot when Hot 97 wasn't even a rap station. Hot 97 was a freestyle music
It was
station
a
back then.
freestyle. Big shout out to WBLS. Big shout out to 98.7 Kiss in New York, tri-state area. Of course, Philly radio was real huge.
Yep.
Virginia was extremely supportive of the movement early. I'm talking about radio. I'm not talking about the people in the underground. That's different lane. I'm talking about corporate commercial radio. Like, you just didn't have access as hip hop, as rappers. You know, LL did an interview with the Beastie Boys a couple years ago, and he got them to admit that basically they would take meetings at radio stations, and the program director would go, you know, we don't play rap music here, but we'll play you. You know,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
complexion for the protection of the collection.
100%. But
Like,
what they didn't realize was the Beasties was about this culture.
yeah, now the
You know what
Beasties
I'm
was
saying?
definitely about this. Thankfully, the Beasties was about this culture.
Facts.
Rest in peace, Adam Yout, MCA, no doubt. So Chris is telling us that him being a conscious artist in terms of selling records had been a hindrance to him. He had already kind of created the lane that he was in, so he can't escape it, right? Escape it. But in terms of managing a new artist, his role was to tell us how to get this money.
Right.
And this is how you get this money. And then reach down, touch the people, but then don't stand there, stand up. Now, Tuffy and I fought KRS on this. We did the first half of the album. He listened to the album. He's like, this is some bullshit. Y'all need to get rid of this. We need to record the whole album, or we just dissed the shit out of us. He was like, the production is too glingy. It's too much going on. Y'all got, Salam is the Fuji. Salam is Super Cat. Salam is Salam is Nas. Salam is mega, like
at that time already certified,
hands down. And what Chris was saying to us is that our vocal tone, our sound sounds good over boom bap, minimalist sound, right? Stripped down, let your voice carry the record, right? Okay.
Yep.
So he goes, all right, let's do a new weed record. Y'all got the blunters on fire. Y'all going over people's heads. Y'all way too lyrical in there. We coming at metaphors and, super duper lyrical miracle. Nah, you gotta write this over. We're gonna do this joint from scratch. We in there. He puts the joint together in SP1200. He grabs the samples. I'm not gonna say what it is. Y'all do y'all Googles and y'all find out.
Yeah. Diggers know where to find the shit.
Right. And he goes, I'm gonna show y'all how y'all should write this, right? So if you listen, the episode starts when I walk down the block. We very 1, 2, 3. Very 1, 2, 3. Not extra lyrical miracle.
So his lead-in verse kind of doubled as a reference track, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, yes.
That's crazy.
We're gonna take people by the hand and lead them down the path, right? So I write my rhyme. Tuffy writes his rhyme. We write in our rhyme like to be so sarcastically jokey with it that Chris is like, fuck y'all, just do what the fuck y'all want to do. Like, I wrote my rhyme as a joke. Like, I'm writing super duper corny, like super duper corny. I'm writing super duper, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I really want to be like, I want to sound like, not voice texture, but cadence wise, rhythm wise, more like the Souls of Mischiefs, more like the, even Cannabis, which is a little later, I think.
Yeah,
but
Cannabis
like
much later.
Extra lyrical miracle. You listen to Lock It Up, Homicide Ride, Alpha and Omega, Station Identification, even like Sex for the Sport of It was this style of rap, I'm gonna say we invented, called metaphorical concepts in a freestyle context. So it's a way that allows me to really freestyle, but about a subject.
Right.
So every song has a concept, even though I'm coming off freestyle. That's Sex for the Sport of It. That's Lock It Up. That's Who You Represent. Right. That's those records. But Chris is like, man, that shit is way too lyrical. So I write my shit as a joke. We go in to record the motherfucker and shit. I spit my rhyme. I'm like 4, 5, 6 bars in. I go, wake up in the morning, got the yearning for herb. Chris turns the music off. Oh, nigga, you bugging. You wilding. I'm thinking he gonna tell me, get the fuck out the booth. You playing around. He goes, you need to start your verse like that. I'm like, yo, man, you a wild dude, yo.
And it feels like all in all, you were just kind of taking this whole thing as a joke. Like,
Yeah, the whole time. Like I'm just my rhyme to me is super duper corny, but you know, it's one of the greatest verses of all time. It's great, one of the greatest leadoffs of all time, and that's really thanks to KRS and his guidance, just like giving us the blueprint of how we need to reach the people. Now, in hindsight, we probably should have did the whole album over again.
Mm.
Some people consider it a classic, right? There's a sound that boom bap raw that's not in New York hip hop anymore, which is why I did the project Namin
Yeah, I
to
can tell.
give you that. I want to take it back to the grittiness sound of what New York is. That, you know what I mean? It's just somebody I put up on my IG. I forget what the brother's name is, but he's interviewing somebody and he describes how everywhere else you go in the country, that original sound exists in today's hip hop. So if you go to Miami, you hear the Luke sound in the City Girls, Trina, like the stuff that's coming out of Miami still feels like Miami. You go out west, West Coast artists, new artists, Kendrick Lamar and every TDE, all that feels like West Coast music. Atlanta, of course, Chicago, of course. When you go to New York, we sound like everybody else but what New York sounds like.
Yes, to a point. And this is where the debate sets in, especially for me, because what I like to call people that kind of just look to the radio, look towards those type of artists that easily attainable shit that you just hear at any time of the day, like how we mentioned what goes on today's radio would have been illegal back then. But I call those people that don't do digging hip hop lazies, is what I call them, hip hop lazies, because a part within this culture, besides the factor of myself, like I know myself, Ian, Ian is more of the heavier collector of wax and music still to this day. I've DJ'd since '96. Digging was a major element within this culture. Whether you were a DJ or not, part of the journey was going to find them joints at the record stores, find them tapes, find the vinyls and things like that. And a lot of that element is been gone from the majority of people. And it's not the to dig to play music, but it was the digging to listen to music. Like I'm of that era of the mid 90s, late 90s to I could go to shout outs to Major Records on Staten Island. They used to be the spot that you used to go the Thursday before the Tuesday and go get the new shit beforehand
Yeah.
and then go dig through stuff, find stuff that is like, oh, I forgot about this. I forgot about this. We're we're from that era of going to Brooklyn and hitting up Beat Street and spending hours digging through stuff, either to buy doubles of things. So to yes, on the whole, New York does sound like everybody else because that's the wave of what's selling. But there's still plenty of artists out there that are still doing what we love, just in different variations. Like, for instance, and I'll pause on this after this. A lot of people love Griselda.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people had the issues with Griselda. Yep, your man French also said rock and soul. I actually just drove past the other day where the old location was. Actually, I
Yeah.
drive by there every day. But
I was just
you
over
think,
there a few weeks ago.
yeah, and you think about Griselda. They kind of do the boom bap.
Mm-hmm.
But early Griselda they kind of did that artsy thing of stripping the drums.
Mm-hmm.
But if you sit with it, you could tell it's still that, as they would say, four to the floor.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know?
But there's one-offs, right? Like even Joey Badass to some degree gives you that, right? And the underground is the underground. I'm talking in terms of mainstream, what you hear on broadcast radio is like there's no real solid representation of the New York sound.
Agreed.
Right.
And the difference there.
Here's the reason why, right? Is because prior to 1996, regional radio still counted. Like
Mm-hmm.
prior to the deregulation of broadcast radio, when you couldn't have these broadcast behemoths, the clear channels, you know these jokers who
Yeah.
own
Yep.
so many media platforms,
Yep. Now
the
iHeart.
clear iHeart, the clear,
Mm-hmm.
all that.
Mhm.
So before that, it was New York had a New York sound, Miami had a Miami sound, Texas had a
Mm-hmm.
Texas sound, Cali had a Cali sound, Atlanta. Now it's whatever appeals to the nation. And if your sound doesn't appeal to the nation, people ain't gonna really check for it.
And it's whatever appeals to the nation by way of said huge conglomerate.
Yes.
Because now it's the umbrella of we'll just give it to iHeart. iHeart then just
Right.
spreads it down the thing. But
You
also too, I wanted to throw in was when you talk about the regional aspect and us being of the tri-state area, a lot of I would say old heads forget the aspect of we were at hip hop rap music's infancy on the radio. So where it was allowed to be experimental, also
Mhm,
with the regions as you just explained. But the
mhm.
most important was it was allowed to be experimental to where you heard the KRS, then you heard the Kane, but then you heard Crisscross, then you heard Vanilla Ice, then
Yeah.
you heard Hammer.
Yep.
You heard different styles because it was still trying to gain its footing
Yeah.
in the world.
No doubt, no doubt for sure. I mean, the way it is now, T Pain has a clip up, and he really hits the nail on the head. And
Yep,
he
I know
goes,
what you're talking about.
if you want to blow like nationally, if you really trying to do it, do it. If you want to be on par with the top, you got to be ready to spend $200,000. That's how much it
Easy,
take. Easy.
Easily,
easy.
easily, yeah.
Easy. That's probably the bottom
Crazy.
floor, and that's just your money has to go in all these different places strategically, in a
Hmm.
way that you get those hits, you get those views, you get that audience. And if you're not ready to do that, which is fine, then there's the underground. There's
Yep.
the you can do a
The
Philadelphia and
SoundCloud.
the SoundCloud,
Yeah.
or you can do hand in hand, or however you do it, and you can really eat because you know your your profit margins are much greater when your investment is much smaller, right?
Yes.
And if and you can leverage your small successes to bigger successes without having to dump a whole lot of money into it. But that's just the music side of it, or the business side of it, right? Then
Yes.
there's the culture side of it, which is if you really about this, you're gonna do it whether you're getting paid for it or not. And that's
Absolutely.
what keeps it alive. That's the thing that
Absolutely.
keeps giving birth to the things that actually do make money. I saw a clip on the internet, and I don't even know what I saw, to be honest with you. But it's a brother. I guess he's somewhere in Africa because it's our people. And he had a phone, he had wires, and he was DJing off his straight off his phone. But with
Yep.
I don't know what he was doing. Like
Yeah, DJ, it
it,
looked like DJ electrocution because I see mad wires all over the
it was
place.
like yeah, but it was like he was hitting something that was making it stop and go, and it was like, yo, I still don't understand what I saw.
One of them was a
It,
flip
but
phone, I think. In that, I remember that video.
but it just goes to say that when the culture is alive, you could do
Anything.
anything. Would you
Hmm.
like Grandmaster Flash when he, the first time he was mixing and crossfading, and he had to create a device to do something. I forget what the exact story is, but you can look it up yourself.
Yeah,
Google.
yeah. We're familiar.
But
We're
but
familiar.
you had to, that's how the culture was making something out of nothing,
Yeah, I
making
mean,
something out of nothing.
literally, like Theodore and an accident. We got scratching,
Right,
scratching evolved into DMC tournaments.
right, right. Like that's even breakdancing is now an Olympic event.
Hip hop is we're everywhere.
You say
Exactly.
what's
We're
wrong with
everywhere.
what's wrong with hip hop? Nothing's wrong with the culture. What's wrong with rap music?
Thank
Mm.
you. As
Yep.
we talked about earlier, Ian knows how I. Ian knows, T knows, everybody of this. They know me. It's culture first.
Yeah,
It's culture first, and it's always culture first. It's
yeah,
okay
man.
to love rap music,
Yeah,
but
I love rap
pay
music.
Pay respect to everything else within said culture. You
Hip
don't
hop,
have
nobody
to.
rapping.
You don't have to be out there performing it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But show love. It's just that simple.
Yeah,
It's
for
just that
sure.
simple, man. But
For sure.
just to show love real quick, we're gonna fast forward to. I gotta mute you, Ian, because I hear all your walking wind. But
Oh,
say what's
sorry.
up to the
I'm
people real
muted.
quick.
Peace,
Okay.
Ian.
Peace,
Yeah.
peace, y'all.
Peace to the
Sorry
God.
But
about
Peace to the
that.
God. Peace to the God. Peace to the God.
we're gonna play a quick snippet off of this Nameen joint.
Know what I mean?
Yeah, I got to talk about one of my joints in there too.
Yeah, but
Ooh.
we're going straight to New York rap real quick.
Big shout out to Big French.
That's a clear. Everybody should know that, son.
Yeah. Since y'all like jewels, I'ma drop a jewel. Makes the money, rappers act like fools. The blind lead the blind, we all blinded by the shine. Bad boys dying like Biggie just to go to jail like Shine. I ain't got to diss rappers, these rappers diss they self. Ride with Donald Trump like they ain't got knowledge of they self. Knowledge is well, but I keep that thing up on the shelf. They could make you freeze, but the feds will make you melt. Everybody want the belt, who want the crown in New York? Everything sound like an end of the world crown in New York. They call me niggas the most high, my niggas be the most high. Cause we stay burning bush like Mount Sinai. Soldiers don't die, gangsters don't cry, but when rappers get killed, they go to place people lie. Civilized, 10% capitalized, while others realize hip hop is in disguise.
Got to drop it right there just so we don't get fucking bounced off of here. But I mean, several shots was thrown in that joint right there. Obviously, clear as day was the Donald Trump line. I mean, we all know who that was. We could tell who was targeted towards. But just
Nobody in particular.
yeah, no, but
It's a bunch of jokers that don't understand the history of Donald Trump.
facts though. Yeah, and not that we need to go down that lane, but it's a messy one because he was hobnobbing with the early quote unquote hip hop heads because
Mhm.
people thought that and assumed that he was a level.
Frozington. Frozed up. Well, I'm just gonna say that Donald Trump, after lifestyles of the rich and famous, after greed is good, after Reaganomics, you know, after get money, get money, get money, Donald Trump was the symbol of get money. So when you're in that type of mind frame, it makes sense to be in bed with Donald Trump or to try to get next to Donald Trump or try to do things with Donald Trump. But if you understand who he has been, his history, his father's history, just the way he's dealt with our community, the Central Park Five, now the exonerated five. When you understand all that, you understand that he is not for us,
Quite
and him
possibly
and
the world's biggest con man.
oh my God. And with this guy in power, man, when it's time to make the muscle move, he gonna make the muscle move, bro. Like and always people watch The Godfather, but they don't really watch The Godfather. They
Shout
tell you
out,
when they tell you when The Godfather. You know what I mean?
shouts out
Exactly.
to French. He says, as soon as y'all start talking about Trump, they frozen shit.
Like if you watching The Godfather and you see who's who and what's what and how they go about their business, it's not for us. Oh yeah.
Yeah, no matter how much we modeled, how much we modeled after quote unquote mobsters and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean it's all in there. But this track though, New York rap, I mean, clear as day,
Mm,
speaks to what you were talking about just now. You
mhm,
bringing back some a sound and a feeling
mm,
that we once had.
mm. Yeah. So you got y'all slipping. I'm not gonna tell you what the sample is. Go do your Googles. But it's influenced by BDP, KRS-One. Y'all slipping. Big shout out to ICU. And I just don't hear that particular song enough. I've always wanted to put something on it, and this was the time. Those rhymes are actually like 12 years old. Yeah, those rhymes are 12 years old. So my rhymes, my the way I approach my art is always politically driven, and I'm just looking for a sound to kind of match the politics that I'm spitting at the time. And Big French, he was doing some things. I was like, you know what, chop this up, see how it come out. And he did his 1-2, add some different elements, took it to a different place, but the rhymes just fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the hook says it all. Bringing back that old New York rap with a cut over there. So I got this other project called Aubrey, produced by Ron Lawrence from the Hitmen. It's done.
Okay.
I'm getting one more piece. It's a surprise. I can't spill the beans, but it's a dope project. And it's a tribute to hip hop culture, the original sound. Lots of cuts, lots of scratching, bringing back that old New York rap with a cut over there, cutting and scratching. Very important elements to hip hop, to rap music. We got to bring that back. I'm just trying to, with New York rap, give that example of how it sounds, what it should sound like.
Yeah, no, true indeed. Again, from the sample style to the rhyme style. To now know that you said you wrote that joint so many years ago, and how relevant it still was today. Like the relevancy felt like you were talking about what was going on right this minute.
Yeah, well, niggas going nigga, so there you go.
actual factuals.
I mean, you can always count on them. They're gonna pop up. No disrespect to nobody, but if you just watch, see it play out.
It's just real life.
You understand real life. You just see it go down. You be like, man, you working against your own power, yo.
But I'm gonna drop this real quick snippet of Now and Then. If you can't tell already, people. Perpetrating.
You know what it is? I was raised on rap, made me a king like Simmel. That's fact. Without the fact that Jake stand. Before I wrote rhymes, I was the ill house with flavor. I became hard with a slip. Kill Santa said is how I learned to shoot shit. Suck MCs, always trying to diss, but I rock to the PM Dawn where rappers consider drift on the memory bliss. I teach a class like Chris. It was like that when it wasn't like this. We had an educated rapper and a professor named Griff, a doctor named Ice. We just go down the list, inspect the whole text, sonic like the set, sleeping on the bag.
Talk about music over time to stand the test. Now more than that, trying to find my tribe on the quest. Now it's so plain, it all sounds the same. Back then we opened doors, completely changed the game. Yeah. Now and then.
I got to say thank you for the Staten Island reference and Inspect the Deck.
Oh,
people just need to continue to go deep dive on that man's catalog. But this record now that I reheard that opening verse, everything we talked about at the beginning makes 1,000% sense. And you described everything you just discussed within that record there.
Yeah. It's a shame people don't miss it till it's gone. I'm shocked how rappers nowadays sing the same song. Where we go wrong, the whole culture act like sheeple. I guess the root of evil captivates the people. Daddy make them do mad tricks like Knievel. I'm the king of rock and the king of diesel. It's ludicrous how fake this nigga Stilo. They smoke up all your weed and have you fighting Debo. Time for some action. Get the bling, make a milli. Put 5 on the Jackson. Rapping so vanilla. Oops, I mean vanilla. Hold on there, fella. I'm a nigga with an attitude, wrecking crews like I'm yella. Quiet is kept. Y'all got the jokes pinned and teller, but I lounge with lyricists underground like cellar dwellers. Rappers can't see me. It's like getting dissed by Helen Keller. Once you check the method, I get you high like propellers.
The double triple in just the vanilla part alone.
You know what I mean?
The double triple,
vanilla, ice,
yeah,
vanilla. It was just faking, lip syncing, rhyming over their vocals.
It was a Neil deGrasse Tyson gift. I'm like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
So we at. That's how this was going on right now.
Word.
Back then it was different.
Word. Ian, was that the record that you was thinking about, Ian?
That was one of them. The other one was Love and Hip Hop.
That's the next video.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh man, it just got done. I'm just holding on to it for a little bit. Yeah, it's having fun. And I wasn't gonna do that song either.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do it because I don't want to lean on nobody's bad fortune. People going through their personal trials and tribulations. I don't want to exploit nobody. But then it's kind of just emblematic of society and where we are as a culture, as a nation, as a world. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? You gotta hang it. Go ahead and do that. Put it out.
Yeah, and that happened to be the next joint right there. But I you can explain further once we drop a little bit of it. Almost sounds Fat Albertish.
Out there wild and ass out on display. On the DL out west, push the A. What the fuck you say? Brother, watch your mouth. Who protects children when you beefing with your spouse? It's like Tom and Jerry, a game of cat and mouse. Jerry kept the cheese, but the pussy kept the house. Who beefing from behind, hand all up her blouse. Saturday Night Live right there on his casting couch. This world is Jerry Springer, and no, I'm not the father. Who gave a bunch of rappers whose father didn't bother. Mother up on Murray, chefing up the curry. It's like we're in the handbasket, to hell in a hurry.
Yo, another one as I sit now and break it down past the obvious bars of who, another reference to Staten Island. Shouts out to Pete Davidson, but
I went to Wagner College.
So you right there, Howard
Really?
Street.
Wow.
Okay, there you go, right there.
Yeah.
I actually drive by there every morning going to work, but my brother did a year at Wagner College too. Played football there and bounced.
Mm-hmm.
But the Chef Curry and Del Curry and his wife splitting up with the Kanye bars, if you want to say it, like all that shit connects now. That just made it even more fire once again.
Wait till you see the video. And I'm not, I don't, like I said, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful to anybody in particular. I'm trying to paint a picture of understanding. Like where are we at in this world? Who's at the wheel? Tell them hit the brakes. I don't like how this feel. Y'all new niggas give me shakes. The world is Ringling Brothers. Universal stole the soul. Is it love and hip hop or just pimps and hoes?
There you go. And I mean, the culture obviously knows about the pimps and the hoes, plus love and hip hop. And yeah, I mean, you're telling a story, but even if it was a diss record, which it really isn't.
No, it's
this
not
is
but
this is hip hop though. This is hip hop culture. This is rap music. Like we do this here. Now I don't rap, but if I did rap, of course, you're going to send shots at somebody.
I'm not sending shots. I'm not sending shots.
If they take
I'm painting a picture using the elements that exist. I'm just describing what's going on.
You are right, but you know how cats take shit nowadays. They'll look at that as, oh, he did, and like quick story from the homie and former guest, but definitely the homie first off, Tracy Lee. Shout outs to him.
Legend.
One of the joints he did on his Expect the Unexpected album was from direct shots, and we've said this on the show, so I'm not like exposing nothing that we haven't talked about, was because he felt Nori kind of played him on Drink Champs when he talked about Tracy Lee and Biggie's record and how Biggie killed Tracy Lee on their record, which isn't the truth to many.
No.
But I gotta remember the song eventually, but he did a joint on that. The opening song on that joint was literally like, you must have forgot who the fuck I am. Literally.
Right.
And sometimes you gotta send that message.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. And I've sent that message in a few songs, but with Love and Hip Hop, is really just a critique of society and where we've taken the quote unquote culture. The images, the icons, the people we follow and what's popular. Our children are picking this up, they're taking their cues and how they should deal with each other, relationships, and it's kind of a mess. And I wanted that to be the point more than me poking jabs at Kanye, Kim, and D.L. Hughley and Pete Davidson and all that. Even the Steph Curry chefing up the curry. I didn't even mention Steph, but chefing up the curry, it happens to go because that's what we are. I wasn't really the whole Del Curry, I wasn't even there with it. I was
But-
really with just Aisha and Steph. And I needed the mother, the father, and some more other. I wouldn't even figure that.
Yeah, but it's the sports fan in me too. I remember that, and
It's
that's
still
like,
going.
when we all ingest and take in this music, taking a lot of different signals and symbols and things like that, like I was able to receive that and pull that out of that. You didn't even think of that, like you said, but we all listen and hear differently. And that's what I grabbed from it. Like that, when I heard the Curry part, and it comes right off of what was perceived as the Kanye, Pete Davidson, Kim stuff. Like it literally put me, oh shit.
Mother
Like,
up
you know,
on
that's what it put me.
but here's the joke though. Here's the real joke in that song. It's Maury Povich.
Okay.
But black people go Murray.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the real
Yes.
Mother up on Murray, chefing up the curry. That was all that rhyme. That was
I didn't even catch that. I didn't even.
Mother up on Murray, chefing up, and I was trying to have to fit Missouri. It's Missouri. So I had to, flip it and bounce it.
And it be the people from Missouri coming up on Maury talking about, hey, Murray. I'm sorry, Murray. See,
No,
but
I just
it's
said
layers.
Missouri because it's the show me state.
There you
Missouri, I show you shit. Want to see? I'll show you shit like I'm from Missouri. So Missouri, stand up, be proud. The show me state. We want to see what it is. Shout out to the Lunatics. My man Ali is in the building.
And you see, like, this is when we talk about quote unquote lyricism and making sure things are important. Like I said, the levels in just those not even first minute of the song, the layers in lyricism is important. And it's not that like, all right, you can love your Kodak. I love some Kodak joints. There's some Kodak Black joint stuff because there's
everything.
There's a lane.
It's
space
everything.
for everything.
Yes, there's space for everything.
You know, but as again, this Namin project, and I'm gonna just play one more joint.
Oh yeah, please. You know,
before we're
play
done.
the whole joint.
All right,
Get this off, nigga. Let niggas know. I mean, I've been doing stuff, planting seeds. I'm trying to get people to, because what, like how you breaking it down is how I want it to get broke down. Yeah. So I'm watching all these other projects get broke down, and I know jokers ain't fucking with me. No.
Hey, well, this. I do this, yo. I do this.
Thank you. That's just on my.
Now you can eat.
Right there.
Now you can eat. We're gonna let this one eat for a little bit.
Yeah, this is another one.
It's night of the living, dead on arrival. As the world spirals out, those darts at my rivals. Rhyme recital, Hakim kicks the vital. You're headed for self-destruction like the rap game suicidal. Death is the wave and it floods like a tidal. What's your title? Worshiper or idol. They be married to the game to pass a shower up the bridle. I swear these rappers whack, I put that on the Bible. After I grab the rifle, they trifle. The devil's playground is the mind when it's idle. So working like a job, my peoples call me Joel. Move around like Lot, trying to duck these holes. Seen some turn to salt. I tell them it's not a fault. I'm a master when it comes to locking peas in the vault. Now it's all the Grand Imperial. Yep. Wake up in the morning with the herb like a cereal. Can I eat? Shit is deep and I don't swim in the pool with no heat. 6 feet deep. The streets is like the sauna, but they got me in the pool with sharks and piranhas. Can I eat? Shit is deep and I don't swim in the pool with no heat.
And like you just said, man,
y'all niggas suck. I'll be like, what the fuck? Oh, McDonald had a farm is all I hear when y'all cluck. I Mac like a truck, like freeway on the clutch on I-95, rolling Philly like a Dutch is Hakim Green. Got no problems, just solutions. Pharaoh hit a bill. Organized confusion in the poetry and song. Can we just get along? These niggas be asked out like Prince in the thong. Some niggas hit the bing, but Hawk hits the bong. Got more pull than the strings from the guitar in the song. Jokers think they king till I ping them like a pong. They never disrespect me. Gorillas king me like I'm Kong. Smoking weed keeps me right. That's why I'm never wrong. Fly like swan when I spit that John. With the daylight, I got potholes in my lawn. Rolling up a J, no disrespect to Sean. Can I eat? Shit is deep.
I mean, and I almost said pause, but yeah, can I? Shit was deep, you know. Like there was something that just hooked me that I forgot because you kept going, and it was like sitting here talking to you. I listened to the project twice before we got here, and talking to you about this made this project now even better because now I get to go back for a third time.
Thank you.
And listen with more detailed ears.
Thank you.
And that's the difference. Like my brother Wiki down below, he'll get it in the first try. And the amount of music that this man ingests is like unimaginable. It's fucking impossible. When I see him tomorrow, he's going to have headphones on with shit playing while there's a DJ there.
Right. Yes, sir.
And see the thing with your project is, and I do this a lot, you know, when I start listening to it and I'm sitting there deciphering what you're saying, it gets to a point where I just leave it on repeat. Because that next time when it's on repeat, I'm starting to hear a little bit more. And then I start to think about things, you know, because you talk about a lot of relevant things. So at that same point, when I come back to that same track, oh, that's what he's talking about now. You know, I'm starting to piece a lot more to it. And knowing your history of how you're being more than conscious, you're putting forth for people to open their mind to what's going on around them.
Yeah.
So the more you listen to it, the more you ingest and you start to open up to it.
You know what I compare it to before you speak, Hakim, and the way he kind of said it in repeating and repeating and repeating. One of my all-time favorites, rest in peace to Daniel Dumoulin, MF Doom. His music does that to me, where it's you catch a piece that's like, oh shit. Wow. And it makes you hit the Googles and search it. And then you listen again. Oh shit, there's another and another. And y'all, 5 tracks is very easy to get through, but you're going to do what Ian just said below, and you're going to have to put this on loop because you're going to be like, yo, oh shit there. Oh shit there. Oh, he said that there. Like when I pulled out the Steph Curry thing that he didn't even think of when writing it. This is what we're telling y'all.
Exactly.
And we're not blowing smoke up your asses because if the shit was whack, the shit was whack. And we would tell you what the fuck belongs as a road coaster and not. And just keep it at 1,000 with y'all.
Yeah.
That's what you got here.
Yeah. I don't know how long we got. You got me as long as you need me.
Yeah, we got time because after this, I want to get into the Newark stuff.
Well, that's where I was actually gonna go with the Newark stuff, right? So, big shout out to the Honorable Mayor Raz J. Baraka. Big shout out to Amiri Baraka Jr., aka Mitty. Big shout out to Do It All Kelly, Dupre Kelly of the Mighty Lords of the Underground.
One of my all-time favorites.
Is currently in a campaign to be West Ward Councilman of the city of Newark, New Jersey, Team Baraka all day, every day.
Yeah.
There was an election on May 10th. He got the most votes. He got 39% of the votes. The second place guy got 22% of the votes. In Newark, you have to have 50% plus 1. So there's a runoff on January 15th. Anybody in Newark, New Jersey that's looking at this or hearing this, June 15th, we're going to put hip hop in West Ward City Council.
Yes.
We already got the Honorable Mayor Raz J. Baraka, and if you check his resume, you'll see he's been doing some phenomenal things in Newark, New Jersey. One of those things is help launch 24 Hours of Peace, which is a company I started to produce the event 24 Hours of Peace, which is a 24-hour peace festival where we push peace, love, unity, safely having fun. We partner with the nonprofits, the social services in the city, hospitals, the local vendors and the local store clerks in the community. But it's really using hip hop as a way to push critical thinking, conflict resolution, character development. You know what I mean? It's giving folks an example of the real power of hip hop culture, which is about our community and uplifting our people, right? So we're 12 years in. We had everybody from Fat Joe, Talib Kweli, Carl Thomas, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, Beanie Siegel, Jadakiss, Freeway, Styles P, Juice Crew All Stars, DOS Effects, Savion Glover, like Common. The list goes on and on. Over the last 12 years, people come out support this effort. You know what I mean? So we're gonna do it this year, August 26th and 27th. And you know, it's a great look for the city of Newark. It's a great look for hip hop culture. Big shout out to DJ Little Man, who got the Jersey Club thing on lock. Y'all know about DJ Little Man and his connection to young people and how he's using, you know, his influence to set a positive example. I mean, it's just amazing all the way around. So big shout out to Newark, New Jersey, and what we're doing over there.
Yeah, for real, and definitely big respects to do it all. Anybody in Newark, please get hip hop in office.
Right.
Yep.
Get hip hop in office. Like when we talk about culture, we talk about, you know, this culture, especially by way of the music, has historically talked about what's been going on in government, in our cities, in our towns, on our streets. What better would it be to have somebody of the culture
Right.
make the positive changes, be able to be in position to make said positive changes and effects on the culture? Besides the factor of the side note is the influence and positive that he put on my life by way of Lords of the Underground. Chief Rocker was the first record that I ever touched on turntables.
Wow.
Shout outs to my boy Flip. When we practiced in his basement, he just threw on Chief Rocker and he was just like, go.
See how I
try to do whatever.
See how I do? See how I do? It's the culture. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, man. So that's what 24 Hours of Peace is all about. Oh, big shout out to Triple Double Juice Company out in East Orange. And we're doing some stuff in Newark right now where we open up another location. I'll let you guys know later how that's going. But pushing health and wellness, you know, juicing, you know, just that whole lane is something that we need to be more into as a culture. So, you know,
I work out Styles P on that too.
Shout out to Styles P, who is actually just out in Newark with KRS-One, who has the Temple of Hip Hop going on. It's Hip Hop Appreciation Week this week. And he's been doing a series of events out there from the new Temple of Hip Hop, 55 Ludlow Street in Newark, New Jersey. Hip Hop is in the building in Newark, New Jersey. We bought KRS-One in Newark. Now he's based in Newark, New Jersey with the Temple of Hip Hop, 55 Ludlow. Go check it out. You get to Newark, New Jersey, you want to touch down with the real hip hop, you already know it's KRS-One in the building. Yeah.
Cool. And I'm offering it. I'm asking on air. I'm offering it up to on air. As I mentioned before the show, and I told you when we talked to the homie T, any way we can be involved with that 24 Hours of Peace Festival, please let us know.
Yeah, and broadcast live and direct.
That's one thing I would ask is let's set it up to where we can be a featured podcast there and talk, chop it up. But also too, I would like to ask you to people you have involved, bring them over, bring them to us, and let us talk to them here too. On top of, let's try to make something happen where we can unify and be a part of said festival too, because we really, like, realistically, I mean, we've been a company since 2018, and fortunately we're a company that we can do what we want when we want.
Yeah.
And we've always wanted to be involved with community in some sort of a way. Like our first community action happened early last year, but early school year of this year. We as a company, obviously, because I'm the COO. My wife happens to be the PTA president of my daughter's elementary school.
Local power is real power, by the way.
We gave book bags. Rep from HHDG. We donated book bags to the school. We want to do more community stuff. So if we any and every way, man, I'll exchange with you, even though we don't, not to cut T out, but we don't have to. We could connect.
Yeah, no, we got. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Make it happen.
Any way we can make this happen, we want to be involved for sure.
Easy. We'll lock in for sure.
Definitely, man. But I'm glad you got to that point, because that's exactly where I wanted to wrap this up, because we took a journey on this episode. I know y'all gonna love this episode, and the main message to me, besides go play Nah Mean, is it's culture first over everything.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's culture first, always.
Can I spit these bars though?
Please be our guest.
Yeah, so I'm
Please
on mute.
leave us a drop at the end of here too. All of that,
All
please.
right, all right. So I told you how I didn't say the word nigga for like Uddy, right? And then I switched up. I said for various reasons, right? You know, in doing my research, I found out that using etymology, you know, you see that the NG consonant sound is an extremely powerful. Even now, I'm going through a slight condition, and part of the treatment is to take, you know, is to make the to make the NG sound. The NG sound, that vibration is a healing vibration. That NG sound is a very powerful. And when you look like in terms of ancient Asian, African, American cultures, ancient cultures had some derivation of the NG sound. Let's get straight to the fact Egypt is really Cam, and Cam means black. But what's right and exact is what most niggas lack. The ancestors called us king. Ingu was the word for that. Inga is my queen. If you don't know what I mean, check the Kebra and the Gas, which is the book of kings. But niggas don't study, they get caught up in the drama like snakes in the grass, my nigga. I don't mean naga. Check the saga. I bring you holy mana. The sun rises in the east, which wakes the holy prana. So let me pause like the comma. Check that nigga's dharma. What goes around comes around. Check that nigga's karma. Now, if you don't get the point, here's some more, my nigga. He's from the gods and earths, and he's a more, my nigga. My nigga Nigel comes from Niger. I call Nigel my nigga. People get hyper. I'm like the last poets because I love my niggas. Who would ever thought the president would be my nigga? What goes around comes around. Time always tells. Words cast spells to dispel mental hell. Looking through the vision of another man's sight. See God in yourself, my nigga. It's all right. Just rise from the lower, plant seeds for the sower. If Jigga is my nigga, how could he be Jehovah? Jehovah's really Yahuwah, or you could say Yahoo. Now, who's the real G? Not the male, you fools. Words are just tools. Now, who weighs and measures? My niggas flipping words in the quest for earthly treasures. It's all mathematics, so we say my nigga. It's more right and exact, plus got swag and flavor. Since power's in the word, the Lord said name it. We named ourselves niggas. Now niggas don't want to claim it. I paint the picture, frame it. We let the devil shame. A people with no name is a people with no aim. With no land to claim, my struggle goes in vain. But my niggas fight over words that's inflicted so much pain. I want to say my nigga. My nigga said refrain around white people because they don't understand the pain. My naga heals the venom and makes the serpent tame. The resurrected niggas on the throne set the reign. Peace, my nigga.
And as we've always described for years, why part of the why we can say it and they can't, this just gave more definition to there actually is power behind, and this was turning what was used as a negative into this was proof of turning that into positive. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yes, proof.
that NG vibration, and as we wake up into who we are, you know, as civilized, organized, disciplined, you know, when we understand the Naga energy and the Kundalini spirit and rising above to your higher self, and Son of God is a dope joint that I talk about, kind of like all this stuff on the project, Son of God. But you know, rising to that higher consciousness and awareness, seeing the oneness in all, you know, and then working in that way, you know, that's part of, you know, the Naga. Like the Buddha was from Nagaland, which is in East Africa. It's a ruined civilization that you can still see today. It's not like some mystery. There's the Naga all through India and Cambodia, and these are the black gods, the black deities from civilizations that had, it was the Indus Kush Valley. Indus Kush is from India all the way through Kush, which was all of Africa. So you had a empire, different civil. This is before there was a change in the. But that's, you know, a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time. But that's what my nigga is all about.
Like, excuse and see when with all of that breaking down, excuse my ignorance, but it made me think of the incense Nag Champa too, like
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yo, the Vietnamese word for light is na, ng. I did a lecture out in Arizona, one of the universities out there some time ago. And, you know, everybody, as I'm giving my spiel, you know, people like clowning me in when he's trying to hit what I'm saying. So after the lecture, this brother from the Sudan came up to me, him and his wife, and said, brother, what you say is true because he had his badge on with his name on it, and it was NG. He said this root is a very powerful root in Sudan. A lot of families, powerful families, have the NG consonant sound. The word king is a Proto-Germanic word stemming from it's king is kuni negos, kuni negos, kuni negos. That's where king, the king, which has got the NG at the end, that's where that comes from, right? So negus, we know, is the King of Kings, Negus Nagas, King of Kings. Like, oh man, Chris did he does this piece on Acts 13 in the Bible. It says that the first Christian church was set up by Simeon the nigger.
And the double entendre, the double entendre in that with Simeon, and how unfortunately people look at us as quote unquote, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's too many layers, too many layers.
Lots of layers,
too many layers.
And through art and lyricism, we're supposed to peel those layers back, and that's what we do as lyricists.
Facts, and that's what was done on Nah Mean. Please go check it out. It's pretty much up everywhere, I think, except Apple Music. I didn't see it on
well,
there.
they pulled it on me because it's love in hip hop, and we use the lowercase n, so we put it back up with the uppercase n.
Okay, there you go.
It's something with the way they allow for spellings of titles and stuff like that. We got caught up in the mix, but it's everywhere else. Please check us out. Nah Mean, produced by Big French from Mad Bull Productions. Big shout out to him.
Absolutely. Definitely gotta get him on the show too.
Yes.
That man got some history.
Oh, and I want to give a super duper big shout out to Hip Hop Discussion Group Media. Recognize, y'all, the real hip hop is over here. Hakim Green Channel, live and direct, BDP all day, every day. All we do is spark madism.
Yes, and no matter how much we have to argue with ignorant niggas in the group, it's still the home. It's still the family. Shit, we wouldn't have this podcast without it. We wouldn't be sitting here talking to Hakeem Green without it. So once again, man, give all your socials, give everything everywhere that we can find you. Let the people know this was fucking amazing, and I was glad we made it happen, even though we was running on color people's time.
So
we still made it happen.
Yeah, we was in on time. Yep. So at Hakim Green, like my name is spelled on the screen, at madism.info. Hakim Green, madism.info. Check the website, madism.info. Oh, also,
and that's 24, be able to find everything.
24 hours of peace, 24HRS of peace, 24HRS of peace. You can add that and find out what we're doing in New Jersey. Yeah.
There you go. Wiki, yeah, you came through late, but you came through regardless. I'm definitely gonna see y'all tomorrow.
Absolutely.
See, yeah, if y'all could make it up to Hackensack at our homie Mike Jones and Herb Brewery, Hackensack Brewing Company.
Special
Awesome
Ted,
2.
Awesome
Ted, 2 is up there.
My brothers. So, my brothers. Go support.
Yeah, if you in the area, man, come through.
I'm down here in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
Okay.
But I'll be there in spirit. I'll be watching the lives and all. I talked to Teddy Ted the other day. So, gotta support my people.
Come through for all of that. We could be there. You're gonna kick it with us, kick it with my members of the Starting Five. Happy birthday to Is coming soon. Happy birthday to my partner TJ. Congratulations to everybody else was celebrating that day. Congratulations to Hackensack and Awesome 2 also on the beer release that's coming out tomorrow. And I mean, HHDG media.com is where you can find us. You can also find me at the Starter 5 Podcast on Facebook, the Starter 5 Podcast on TikTok, YouTube also. But as we mentioned before, there's a lot of biters and fakes, and the real Starting 5 Podcast is this logo right here. Anything else is not us. They came up during the pandemic. We've been here since 2015. Ian, you know what to do.
No doubt. Once again, thank you, Hakeem. Thank you, Big French. Go support Nah Mean. It's definitely a dope project. And like I said, listen to it again and again. You're definitely gonna see those layers to it. And once again, it's been decades now, putting out music like this. And I appreciate that you continue to do that, continue to work and build the community. And shout out to Free Kelly as well. You go out there next month, vote, people.
That's right. That's right. Vote, vote, vote. Yeah.
Yep. So with that being said, we say peace. We see y'all
Peace.
on the next one.